In this segment, we're going to build another cork handle, but this time with preformed grips. Now what this is, just essentially the same cork, but this has already been epoxied in a shape for us. It's built with rings, just like we built our own with rings, but this is built from a manufacturer. Just put the rings together and shape them for us. So all we need to do is ream out the inside of the cork. I built these and designed these reamers simply because I could not find one on the market that got the job done quickly and correctly. They come with a screwdriver handle just like this, so you can really torque it if you're building them by hand. Or what you can do is just simply take a Dremel or any kind of saw, cut the screwdriver handle off, and you'll have that shaft to go ahead and chuck into a drill bit, and you can go to town. Now again, I need this grip to slide all the way down the blank, but the diameter of this cork is too small. So we're going to ream it out. And that's another huge advantage to building your own custom rods is, you know, a rod like this is hard to find with a cork handle. It's a 15 to 30 pound blank, and most of those blanks available in the production market, the manufacturing end of things, are with foam handles. So all I'm going to do is just ream it out. Now as I'm reaming, what I'm doing is I'm letting my hand slip like that, so the cork is rotating also, because no matter how good you are or how much attention you're paying, you're going to wallow out the cork to one side or the other if you just hold your hand still, because you're going to apply pressure one way or another. But by letting the cork spin in your hand, it's going to even it out. And again, you can see I left the drill on as I was pushing down and pulling back, so I didn't rip the cork. Just let that silicon carbide grit just go to town. I'm trying not to make too much of a mess here, but even after you pull it off, you can see there's a ton of cork dust still in there. And you want to get that out, because that'll form a false bond and keep your epoxy from getting directly onto the blank. Again, we didn't make it too far, but you always want to, I'd rather check twice and only cut once. We're closer, but not all the way there. If you could see, the reamer went all the way down to the end. So all we have to do is go to the next size reamer. Right here. Now what I'm going to do with this is demonstrate just doing it by hand. We could easily cut this handle off, put it in the chuck, and go to town. But I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. Simply the same thing, just hold it in your hand and twist it down. It's really nice to have that screwdriver handle back there. It really enables you to torque it and get a good grip. And again, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm not just sitting here twisting my reamer, I'm spinning the cork at the same time to make sure I don't cut into one side more than the other. It's all about keeping it centered. And you can go straight up and down. I don't like to. The whole purpose of the spiral is to pull that the cork dust out of there. But I still go ahead and keep pulling the blank or the reamer out. Just keep clearing that dust. It allows me to get up in there quicker. And you can hear it just slicing and dicing. Now obviously if I was to chuck this up in the drill, we'd be done by now. But for those who want to see it done by hand, that's how you do it. All right, now that we've finished out reaming out our rear grip, we see that it fits just nice and snug. I'll get down there perfectly. We're using again a little a little mushroom cap. This cap will fit in the end of the blank perfectly like that. Cover up the hole in the blank, but still have a nice solid cork look with a composite feel. Now all I'm going to do is slide my reel seat, put it up next to it, and mark where that's going to stop. Right there. Now I know how far my foregrip has to come down on the blank. And we can see I've got a pretty good amount of reaming. Look at the size of that hole and the size of this. That's the whole reason I built these speed reamers. With that silicon carbide grit and the cloth back tape so you can go fast. It saves a ton of time. Now I knew that since I had so far down to go on that blank, that that full extent of the reamer would be needed. And still I come up short. Got about 18 inches left to go. And we're nice and tight at the end of the grip and at the beginning of the grip. So we know that the taper of our reamer fits our taper of our blank pretty well. Just about finished reaming up our foregrip. Made a big old mess. You can see it slides down just snug. If you force the cork down too far and it's too tight, what's going to happen is you're going to get pressure from the inside out. Not only could you crack it pushing it down, but you could very well crack it incidentally after the rod's built. A day, a week, a month, a year later, by dropping the cork, dropping the rod, or scratching the rod, or anything that's going to thin that cork or put pressure on that cork, being that it's already being stressed, could crack it. So we want to make sure it just comes down nice and easy, maybe a little bit of pressure, nice and snug, good to go. All right, now we've got our grips fit. This handle here, being that it's a relatively smaller reel seat with a bigger blank, I'm not going to be able to use a polyurethane arbor. It would be way too thin. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and build up some real seat arbors, slide it down after we epoxy our rear grip. But if you notice also, this cork grip has what I call a nipple on it, and that reel seat doesn't want to sit up on it. It's meant for a larger grip. All I'm going to do is take some sandpaper and get rid of that lip so that reel seat sits right on it.